Hello, and welcome to this module in the Education for the Lifespan series brought to you by the Indiana Institute on Disability and Community. My name is Mackenzie, and today we'll be talking about the transition from adolescence to adulthood for teens with intellectual and developmental disabilities, as well as the options available for your child to receive empowering yet formalized supports after they make this transition. The transition from adolescence to adulthood is difficult for everyone, but we recognize it is especially challenging for those with intellectual or developmental disabilities and their families. It is during this time the child's legal guardian, most often the parents, start preparing the teen for a new kind of supported assistance. However, many parents don't want their child to turn 18 because they are afraid or worried for what will happen without them as the guardian. At this time, full guardianship may feel like the only choice, but we want to tell you there are multiple options for ensuring a child with a disability is supported. And these support systems can empower a child while also giving them guidance. Let's meet Adria. Adria is 32 years old. She loves swimming. She is a member of the Alpha Xi Delta sorority. She has a service dog named Lucy, and she is a columnist for the Herald Times in Bloomington, Indiana. Adria also has autism, mild cerebral palsy, and a learning disability. Although Adria's disability offers barriers to some activities such as driving, supplemental supports allow her to go live an independent young adult life. Now, everyone has a support system, but for people with similar challenges as Adria, a formal support system is often put in place. This support system lies somewhere on a spectrum that ranges from completely independent to full guardianship, with other options in between. Independence means the person does not need formal supports. This can be people with or without disabilities. However, independence does not mean solitude. Informal supports exist to advise and help a person think through their decisions and are used by everyone. Formalized supported decision-making, then, is an accountability measure and a formal agreement that a person has supports in place to help advise decisions. However, the person always makes the final decision. Supported decision-making advocates believe all people are capable of making their own decisions and works to structure the environment to allow this to happen. The next option is agency agreements, such as a power of attorney, which is a written agreement that allows a person to give decision-making authority to someone else of their choice in certain situations. For example, a person might have a power of attorney for legal and financial matters, but be able to make decisions without that extra support for residential or employment opportunities. The next option is limited guardianship, also known as partial guardianship, which allows even less free choice. This is when a person is allowed to make decisions in some areas but not others. In this case, it is not the person but the courts who appoint the substitute decision maker. Lastly, there's guardianship, which is when a court-appointed guardian has the power to make all the decisions for another person. This is the most restricted option. It is promoted that guardians take into account the wants and preferences of the person with the disability, but this does not always happen. That is why alternatives to guardianship have been created and are becoming more widely used. To help you better understand these alternatives to guardianship, Adria would like to tell you about her support system, which includes a power of attorney, among other less formal but still very important characters. Here's her video.
I have a lot of individuals who support me primarily at this point in my life. My parents still. They, I believe, are my power of attorney. When they pass, it will go to my sister, my younger sister Janelle, who is a dermatologist. She's 30. And my cousin Soraya on my mom's side, who's also have a service dog, Lucy, who assists me in navigating the community. She's actually trained for a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder to find a way home on command. And she also helps with balance and stability for cerebral palsy on stairs. And so she helps me be able to get out in the community and be independent a lot throughout the day without the support of my parents and or direct support professionals. I do have a direct support professional who's a college student. She comes twice a week and helps with daily living skills like making sure my laundry's done, making sure my apartment's clean. We will, I don't know, run to Target and pick up paper towels and Clorox wipes, that sort of thing. So it's transportation, it's running to get a bus pass, just daily living, and also social skills. Because I'm diagnosed with autism, a lot of times forming social relationships is difficult. So we'll do social things as well. Go see a movie, go to dinner, go to trivia at the tap, so that's fun. I'm also part of a sorority on IU's campus called Alpha Xi Delta that raises money for autism research through a national autism advocacy organization called Autism Speaks. And they're a big support to me as well. I think it's kind of a two-way street in that I get to teach the members what it's like to have an autism diagnosis, and they're kind of supporting me, and they're another outlet, another community for me in the Bloomington community to go to that I formed a relationship with, so it's very nice. I also have an applied behavioral therapist who helps with management of executive functioning skills like prioritization, planning, organization, looking at my weekly calendar, saying what have we got going on this week. And I also see a mental health professional here in the community, usually weekly, for management of anxiety and obsessive compulsive disorder. But yeah, I think I'm very lucky in that I have a very holistic support system, and a very especially a very supportive family. I will say that if my parents hadn't been as hands-on from day one and as accepting, I don't think I would have come this far, or been as positive, or been as successful in living in community.
Through her story, we can see that Adria has found success with her diverse support system. However, a power of attorney, or this exact version of a formalized supported decision-making structure, may not be the right option for your child. Popular saying in the field of disability is, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. This idea also applies to a person's support needs. The support system that works for one person may not be right for another. The goal is to learn about and consider all options before committing to one, whether it be complete independence, supported decision-making, power of attorney, limited guardianship, or even complete guardianship. And if the child's needs change, as we expect they will, then it is important to reassess the system of support and adjust accordingly. In conclusion, in the words of Adria, transition from adolescence to adulthood is a difficult time, but if you prepare your child for supported independence, then it won't be so challenging. We want to thank you for attending this first module of the Education Through the Lifespan series. If you have any questions or would like more resources regarding this topic or